Like they're the most important person in the world. Her name is Mona Holloway Coffield, and she reached out to me a couple months ago and shared her story with me about her child named Skylar and his peer buddy Kim. And I don't want to tell the whole story, but it goes without saying that it completely blew me away. And it completely reminded me that the schlepping and the grind of Best Buddies for 27 years for me, and all the plane rides, and all sometimes the craziness and the work that goes along with getting us to where we are 27 years later, that when a woman calls me, sends me a letter and tells me the story of what Best Buddies has meant to her family, that's an inspiration to me to keep going, keep grinding, and keep plugging away. And I'm so happy that we're able to recognize you, that you came all the way from Florida. Your story's amazing, that your whole family's here as well. So I hope you will give a big South Florida welcome to our Mother of the Year from the USA. California.
So much for allowing our family this opportunity to really express to Best Buddies how much we truly appreciate them. And when I say we, you can imagine all the mothers of unique kids standing here behind me. What we want for our kids is the same as what every mother wants for their children, and they want them to have the best. And the best includes a true friend, not just a wonderful, compassionate acquaintance, but a true friend. And that was something that was lacking in Skylar's life. And I had really prayed about that for years. God, send Skylar a friend. Well, about 10 years ago, Skylar came home from school and was talking about this girl named Kim. And the next day was talking about Kim, and so Jim and I decided we needed to investigate who this girl was that was spending so much time with our son. And so we invited Kim to our home and started getting to know her. It took us several months to figure out the real story behind our beautiful daughter now, Kim. She and her brother had been left here in this country when their mother had to return to the Dominican Republic for medical issues. And so she and Kim, her brother Kevin, were teenagers living under the radar so that they wouldn't be separated. And they were surviving on their own, and they were doing what they needed to do to survive. But even with that, she had such a heart of compassion. She wanted to be a friend to somebody. And the thing that really struck me when we would bring her home is everybody would be talking, and if Skylar said something, Kim automatically defaulted to Skylar, and she would look in his face and listen to his words. And during the courses of the conversations, at one point she told us that she didn't believe in God, and then later on she said she wanted to be a missionary, which we thought was a little incongruent, and questioned her about that, and she said, well, I don't care if it's true or not, I just want to give people hope. And at that point, we were so stirred that Jim and I decided we have extra room, and we brought Kim home, basically, with us. And so she's been our daughter now for 10 years. During those 10 years, it hasn't always been easy, just like any other teenage girl. And she had to make sure that we were really committed. And so there were times of, let's say, histrionics. And our love was tested, and our finances were tested, and we went through wrecked cars and scuzzy boyfriends, and a lot of laughter. Because as she began to believe that she was a girl, a woman who was worthy to be cherished and loved, she started to put on that facade. Not a facade, but it went deeper even, and started believing that she was the woman that we told her she was. This entire time she kept loving Skylar, and it made for a lot of great family stories. In particular, Skylar, I am now a sci-fi nerd simply because I love my son Skylar, and he loves everything with sci-fi. And one day we had watched an episode of Star Trek Next Generations in which they introduced, and I get this, the alien species, the Kardashians. So Skylar put on his Star Trek shirt and said, Mom, I want to go to Steak and Shake. We went to Steak and Shake. The server's walking by, and Skylar looked at me and said, she doesn't even know I'm a Kardashian. And the server heard that, and she decided, oh, I'm going to play along. So she runs over, and of course her grid was very different from our grid, and she said, oh, you're Rob Kardashian. Oh my gosh, I love your sister Kim. And Skylar looked at me and said, she knows Kim? And she said, yeah, well, I don't really know her. I just see her on TV. And Skylar said, Kim's on TV? And then the zinger. And now that she's pregnant, she is so adorable. And the girl walked off. And Skylar sits there and looks at me with his mouth dropped to the floor. Kim's pregnant, Mom? Which, you know, was one of those conversational pretzels that took a few minutes to unravel. But there have been a lot of great stories. If I had a few years, I could tell you about some of the past 10 years. To take it short, Kim, who was told she would never graduate from college, graduated from the University of Florida with honors. Thank you. She worked for Apple Computer for 2.5 years while she was in college and was offered a job with them making quite a large sum of money, but called me and said, I am talking too long, and that was my hint. Called and said, I don't want to work for Apple. I want to make an impact in the world. And so she took a job taking $30,000 a year, and she now works with children that are high at risk to help them to be able to obtain high school graduation and college scholarships. So in our family, Best Buddies not only gave Skylar a forever friend, he gave my other son Pierce a sister. He changed the trajectory of Kim's life by allowing Skylar to love her the way he has, with unconditional love. And Jim and I got the daughter that made our family complete. So to all of you, thank you so much. What you